I wanted to take the time and talk a little bit about your footwear, your boots for your next Alaskan hunt. Uh, there's options out there, and it can be confusing. Uh, the best way to go about it is get details for the hunt you're going on. Know what kind of transportation you're using to get into the field. If you're taking a float plane to get into the field, then you're probably going to need some kind of at least a hip waiter, if not a chest waiter. If you're going to be in a raft all day or a lot, you may want to consider chest waders, especially if you're gonna would like to take part in paddling. As you're paddling, you got water falling on your lap throughout the day. You can get by with hip waders, but you got to wear your trench coat while you're paddling. Some hunts, this hunt I'm on currently, you're pretty much in waders the whole hunt. On Kodiak Island, hunting with me, you're definitely going to want to bring your leather boots. We'll keep you in those as much as we can. And I would say also it doesn't hurt to have a pair of hip waders along if you show up and you don't have any. I have about all the different sizes that there is, but doesn't hurt to have your own. So chest waders here, Sims is what I use. Sims is hard to beat. This is the G3. Their Guide 3, I think is what it's called. I've had this pair 3 or 4 years. I've torn the belt off, but other than that, they're great waders. I finally put one hole in them this year, trudging through some pretty thick brush. I'm amazed I only came out with one hole. Enough said. Can't go wrong when it comes to chest waders. I wouldn't consider anything else. Sims G3. Wader shoes. If you're using any of these waders with these neoprene booties on them, you're going to need a wader shoe. Again, I'm going with Sims. That's the G3 model as well. I would definitely recommend going with a wader shoe over an old pair of boots or something you got in your closet. The wader shoe is going to have holes in the bottom of it, so as you're walking, it's squishing the water out. Moving on here, if you're just getting out of the plane, or if you're going to be walking greater distances, hip waders are probably a better option. These I have here are the Chota hip waders. As you can see, they roll up. They're breathable. When I'm using these, I take a belt with me, and when I put them on, I cinch that down around my leg, and then I put the belt through this loop to hold them up. And then if I get to a point where I'm not having to cross deep water, as you can see, they roll down and then they cinch tightly around your calf. So these are comfortable to walk in. And, I hit on a lot of this stuff in other videos, but anyways, not a bad choice. If I wasn't gonna go with the Chodas, I would go with lacrosse hip waders. They're not breathable, they're rubber, but this is a set of lacrosse knee boots here. They last a long time. I don't put many holes in them. And I would say, if weight allows, bring some lacrosse knee boots instead of Crocs. These are just as easy as a Croc to get in and out of, and I'm attack ready always in these. If we see something from base camp and we need to rip out, I'm gonna be pretty good to go with my lacrosse on. A little something I thought of as I was talking here. Another awesome advantage, if you're able to have these G3s and something dies in water, which you want to avoid in Alaska. It's illegal to shoot an animal that is swimming in almost all cases. But you never know. Sometimes they make it to water, and it's much more comfortable processing in these. But moving on to what you end up spending the majority of your time in, especially hunting with me on Kodiak Island, is your leather boot. When you're choosing a leather boot, a lot of different companies out there, but you want to get something that comes, well up your calf. You want good ankle support. You want a narrow sole. The narrower it is, the better. When you're walking in steeper country, you want to stay up on your feet, straight up and down, and you don't want to let's imagine that this is steep terrain. You don't want to get like this on steep terrain, because what that does is it takes the direct pressure off the bottom of your feet, so you displace your weight all across the hill, and that makes it easier for you to slide down the hill. Where if you have a narrow sole and you stay up on your feet, that direct pressure stays down into the ground. You hang on to the hill much better. You want a solid shank. You don't want a ton of flex in your boot. You want to be able to put crampons on it. I provide crampons when needed, and they'll strap over most of your leather boots out there. You want to take care of your leather, whether you're buying Kenetrek, Mindel, Crispies, Zamberlins, lots of different boot companies out there. Most of them sell a leather treatment from that company. Just get the one from the company. If you don't, and you have something like the sole starts falling off, and you try to contact the company for help, if you're not using their leather treatment, they won't help you. In some cases, it could be whatever treatment you're using is breaking down the rubber seal of your boot. You want to avoid drying your boots over heat. If you heat the boots up, the rubber sole will fall off. The glue or whatever that's used will fall off. Just FYI, this pair of boots is at retirement currently. I'm going to try Crispies out when I get home. I've got a new set. I just got to get them broke in. And that's an important thing. You want to read in the instructions on your boot when you get them what the break-in period is for that boot. Don't just show up on a hunt with brand new boots. They'll eat your feet alive. A lot of these boots have a 50-mile break-in period that you have to get through. I've discussed socks in detail in other videos, but you want to wear basically 2 socks, a nylon sock slip and then a heavier, usually wool sock over the top of that. We're about to get buzzed by a plane here. They gave me a little wingtip. That's my friends. I reckon today's not my day. I'm waiting on a hunter. Hopefully tonight or tomorrow. And hopefully he or she is ready to hunt a big one. I like hunting the big ones. Big and old. So, back to shoes. Leather boots. You want to combine your leather boot with a gaiter. A gaiter is a water resistant shell that you're going to put over the top of it. You want your buckle for the gaiter on the outside. They're not really meant to be worn with rubber boots, but hey, it works. So gaiters serve all kinds of benefits for you. Protects a large portion of your boot. It if you go through water, it gives you, if you're going through a creek and it's not necessarily above the top of your boot, but it's, you know, the creek is splashing up, it's going to keep that water out of your boot. It keeps, in this country, it keeps the grass seeds out of my boot and could keep rocks out. So in the morning when you got dew on the ground and the brush, it keeps you from getting as wet. It just, overall, it keeps your boots drier, keeps your boots healthier. In return, it keeps your feet healthier. This particular pair is outdoor research. I keep coming back to these. They're tough, fairly waterproof. They last quite a while. The downside is they do make noise. You gotta be careful not brushing your feet together. Something to be aware of. Kenetrek. These aren't Kenetreks, but Kenetrek makes a gaiter. All the other companies we've mentioned, Stone Glacier, Kuiu, Sitka, pretty sure First Light does. I'm not too sure on that one. Yeah, definitely want to bring a set. When you're using leather boots, you want a pair, and I provide these. If you want to bring your own pair, you're welcome to. But you want to have a pair of slip-on waders. These are Wiggies. So you have these in your pack. And if you need to get across the creek, Never leave home without these in Alaska. And then doesn't hurt to have a set of waterproof socks in case you hit a hole you're not expecting, or in some cases, if I see an animal that we're interested in, I don't even bother with the wiggies. Just go for it if it's going to get away. So after that, you got wet shoes, and waterproof socks are pretty expensive. I got this pair off the internet. I think it was like $50 for a pair. I don't know if this is the brand or not, but it says it's a Dex Shell seamless, waterproof, breathable sock. With waders and wiggies especially, eventually you're gonna get some new holes. You can see here, I've been patching holes, and I've patched them on the other side, on the inside. So what I like, and they carry this at Big Rays on Kodiak, but for whatever reason, they only provide the small tube, it seems like, in the store. But this is a Aqua Seal UV, and when you got the sun shining, it cures rapidly. If you have a really big hole, you can patch it from the inside with some tape. This is Gear Aid tape, both of these. And then you can come over the top behind it with some Aqua Seal. I hope this helps. Look forward to seeing y'all on the next Alaskan hunt. Have a good one. Feel free to like and subscribe.